everyone, Kitty here, back again with another video. Today we are here with the game Our Life. If you do not know what Our Life is, it is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful visual novel made by the wonderful creators GB Patch Games. If you do not know anything about Our Life, it is again a visual novel game. Where you can obviously choose your own direction with the story and everything like that. You play with the character Cove. I'll show you him right now, actually. Cove is a cute little baby. There he is right there. Cove is the cutest little baby I've ever met in my entire life. I love him to pieces. Again, what makes this game like really special is that you don't just grow up with Cove. You actually get to influence his behaviors, his mannerisms, and everything, the way he acts towards you, the way he acts towards other people, and then even like the way he looks, you can change. We are in the third stage, which we are 19 years old. We just graduated. This is the summer of us graduating high school. The reason I chose this area to start, because sadly we will not be focusing our little Cove Holden boy. We will be focusing on Baxter. I bought the DLC because, to be honest, I wasn't really all that interested in him before. When I first met him, he's literally a character. Has black and white streaked hair. You'll see him in just a second. But when I saw him later in the wedding DLC, right? He is literally so cute. I can't get over it. He's so cute. Here, I'll show you literally right now. Baxter, when you first meet him, let me put that right there. This is Baxter when you first meet him. Again, character, literal character, right? Like he's like black and white, you know, he's smug. Like that's just like how he is. This is him now, right? Like him in like the future. Literally, I can't. And there's comments. Tell me, do you like Baxter before or Baxter after? But yes, so here we are in the Baxter DLC. It's a bit before we meet him. I just wanted to start off so then you can kind of see the characters you are. We have my mom's, which is Mom and Ma. And then we have my sister, who is Liz, or Elizabeth, full name, Lizzie, whatever you call her. She goes by multiple names. And then we have Cove. Obviously, we have Cove's dad. What is it? Cliff Holden, or Clifford Holden. And then we have Kyra, who is Cove's mother. Then we have our friends Miranda and Terry. You can play this game either being a love interest to Cove, or you can just be friends with him. You could just hang out, or you can be just like completely indifferent to him. Like you could just not care about his existence at all. But the whole game is about Cove. And this one, since we're going to be interacting with Baxter, I decided to make Cove just more of our best friend. So he's literally like a brother to me in this one. When I love him. I do love him. I love him so much. But I just wanted him to be a best friend, a home bro. He's my home dog. Peace out, you know, chill out all the way, do straight up, no squip, you know? Yeah. So, again, it's a visual novel game. So, if you do not like my reading, I'm sorry. Maybe go find someone else. Or go play it for yourself. Go play it for yourself. Go play it for yourself right now. Literally. We were just talking to Cove, I believe. Yes, we were just talking to Cove, and it is about to be the next day. Cove began to head to your bedroom door. Or you followed him. We were in my room. So the two of you casually went down to the ground floor of your house. In all the excitement of Cove's return, you hadn't even remembered the gift you prepared for him when he got back. It would be best to give it to him now before he left your house. Can you wait here for a little while? I've got something for you. Cove tilted his head, intrigued. Really? His voice. His voice is so cute. Also, this is what I make. This is my canonical Cove, okay? This is me canon Cove. Really? You nodded your head with some eagerness, trying to imagine how'd he'd react when he actually saw it. You bought Cove something special. The gift you had chosen hadn't been something you could buy. It doesn't really matter which one. Also, if you see the scars because of a jet ski accident, don't worry about it. I know the option for each one, but since he's just our friend, we're just gonna buy him something. You know, it's different when we're actually dating. Anyway, it was a dolphin. I think I want it to be a dolphin-shaped balloon. Oh, no. Yes, it's going to be a dolphin-shaped balloon. It's because when we were kids, we had a dolphin-shaped balloon. His popped, and I made a joke about it and said, hey, maybe you could call it Pop. And he didn't like that. He did not like that. I felt so bad. We're going to get him a dolphin-shaped balloon. Hopefully he doesn't get mad at me. I'm sure he won't, right? You ran to the closet where you stashed the unwildly animal-shaped balloon, preventing it from floating away. You guided it out like a prize seahorse from the stable, acting as the reins for the dolphin steed. You headed back to Cove. You were careful, analyzing your surroundings for anything the balloon could be pierced by. It'd be awful if somewhat ironic if the new balloon met the same fate as its predecessor. Cove stared at the floating creature as you approached. His lips parted as he almost seemed lost and buried in his mind. He could practically see flashbacks of his childhood days flickering across his face. Oh, he likes it! And then his eyes lit up, his mouth turning into a smile, as the connection fully clicked for him. But the initial look of kiddish giddiness quickly softened to a more mature expression. What did I do to make you care so much about me? The question was genuine, though you wondered how he could ask that with such fondness and not have his answer. How could you not care for a man like that? For real, though. You struggled with how to put that into words, settling for the passing the balloon to its rightful owner. A couple of innocent giggles escaped from Cove as he took a hold of the string. As he stared up at his dolphin, awed. I remember that time. We were 8. I'd gotten a dolphin balloon like this. It was thanks to you back then, too. We started talking about names, then I crushed it and it popped. You know, for most people that'd just be a funny story, something to joke about, but I have someone who thinks so much about me that they wanted to make it better, even years later. He finally looked back at you, his eyes glossy, but his smile wide and tender. He turned it and tied the balloon loosely to the cabinet handle. Cove looked up at the balloon with... I'm not about to cry. Shut up. Adoration. Stop. Oh my god. His eyes were brightened than usual. Though his face was angled away from you, he got his eyelashes fluttering as... Stop, my baby! Fluttering as if batting away tears. His throat bobbed as he swallowed bubbling emotion. You knew that Cove could be sentimental. He's a little crybaby boy. Oh, I love him, though. The gift and all the memories and the feelings tied up in it seemed to have taken a toll on him. When he began to sniffle, you felt the need to reach out. Cove? I can't. I don't know what to do. He forcefully scrubbed at his eyes, like he was trying to push the tears that threatened to spill back in. Oh, Cove, it's okay. Do you need to cry? No. Nevertheless, tears had begun to spill down his cheeks, even as he wiped them away, or took in their place. Thank you. His voice quivered as he spoke. Cove scooped you into a hug, pressing you so tightly against his chest that your breath escaped in a short squeak. He burrowed his face against your neck. His shed tears damped on your skin. You hugged him back. You're welcome. You're welcome. Cove let out a steady breath. It was far removed from the shaky gasp that had accompanied his sniffles. The tears had dried. His eyes were a little red, but open and at peace once again. He smiled, fully recovered from the emotion that had overcome him. You're really seriously too nice to me. He smiled back. I don't think there's such a thing as too nice when it comes to you. Cove brushed his hand against the pale ghost of the scar on his arm. He was at a loss for what to do. The clock ticked away, counting the seconds of silence. Also, you know the mean old neighbors? The ones who would always yell at us? He cringed, recalling the particular memories on back in the day. It was not pleasant, even for someone as nostalgic as him. Yeah. They're not coming. They didn't rent the condo this summer. Cove's jaw dropped. You didn't blame him. Wow. Cove blinked, clearly struggling with the idea in the same way you had. I didn't see that coming. People being gone, people coming back. Feels like I've missed a lot. This has been a busy summer already. Well, you hadn't missed the fireflies. They haven't shown up yet. Well, that's something. And we better not get left behind. There's still stuff to do. I loved fireflies. Okay, side note. When I lived in Virginia, I loved staying up late during the summers just to catch the fireflies. I have never experienced anything close to like that. And that was when I was in like second grade. I still remember sending my fireflies off to college. Like it was crazy. But just experiencing that and just seeing them is absolutely amazing. Really makes you appreciate nature. I cannot. But yeah. Here I am reminiscing about the past. United, the two of you headed out and traced for the most familiar path you ever walked on, the trip across the road over to Cove's house. It seemed that no sooner had the night begun that it was already at an end, and the dawn of the new day was soon upon you. The next morning your belly was full of breakfast, you were in a pleasant mood, and you'd hoped the rest of your day followed suit. Later you were meeting up with your friends, Cove, Miranda, and Terry, to go into town. It was all in a short notice, but that was because everyone was just excited that Cove was finally back home. Having a nice daydream? So, what's on the agenda today? I'm meeting up with some people. Well, I hope you and your friends have fun. Don't get into too much trouble. She winked at you. You knew both of your moms watched you two enjoy every bit of this summer before all the big changes started. I'll try. But before you go gallivanting, what is that word? Could you bring the mail in? I'm finishing up putting the dishes away over here. All right. Thanks very much. As soon as you were outside your front door, you couldn't help but see Cove and his dad standing around in the road. They noticed you too. Hey there, Key.
Mr. Holden is so hot.
I said it. Anyway, Cove smiled lightly and waved. When you began making your way over, he added, Hi. Ruffling his hair. Immediately, Cove caught you were honing in on his hair, and he dodged your hand. He tried giving you a stern look, but there was no match for your teasing grin. He rolled his eyes, and all was forgiven. He saw it coming. I always ruffle his hair. How dare he? I'll get you next time. You noticed Mr. Holving was taken in the scene of you and Cove with a self-satisfied smile. Cove followed your line of sight and shot his dad an unimpressed look. So, what are we up to today? As far as I know, nothing too much. Me and Cove are meeting up with some friends in town later. Sounds like a plan to me. Yawning, Mr. Holden stretched his arms over his head. My boy and I have just been waiting around to see what the new neighbors are like. It was definitely his idea. I don't know how you're not interested in this. It's big news. Besides, it'd only be polite to meet the new folks in town. Yeah, maybe it'll be a single dad and a son. That was them. Cove snorted in a somewhat airy laughter at the suggestion. You think we'll have some competition? For several moments, Mr. Holden was unable to answer. He was still chuckling when he put his hand on his hips and tried to compose himself. Absolutely not. We're the #1 father-son duo in this town, and no one's changing that. Mr. Holden took one more glance at the current vacant building and sighed dramatically. When he turned back to you and Cove, his whole body seemed deflated. There's no sign of him. I still need to head over to work soon. Cove gave his dad a few reassuring pats on the back. Okay, I promise to keep an eye out. I'll text you if anything happens. Really? Yeah, of course. A wide grin breaking out on his face, Mr. Holden looked absolutely thrilled to have his nosiness enabled. That works. He moved to firmly place both of his hands on his shoulders, fixing his child with a firm stare. Son, you're my true ally in this world. Okay, with that settled, I'll go make some money. That's always been the one thing I do best. He used to be a gambler. I love that little detail about him, by the way. Mr. Holden headed off to the garage with a big wave goodbye. Cove smiled the whole time while you both watched his dad leave. You really liked Mr. Holden. Was your favorite people. Cove's dad was kind of a brother. Like brother. Or like a, what a brother. Like, you know. You really liked Mr. Holden. You had it for a long time. As soon as he was out of sight, Cove sighed lightly. Are you okay? Yeah, just not looking forward to waiting. Guess I'll be hanging around the street for a while. Good luck. See you later, bye. I'll stick around to see the new neighbor. 'Cause I know who the new neighbor is. Curiously about the new tenant was getting the better of you. Your mind was already swirling with too many thoughts about what they might be like. Really? Uh-huh. I can't leave until I find out who they are. Or till I find out what they at least look like. Cove put his hands on your shoulders, gripping you solidly, but not enough to hurt. His eyes fixated on you just as firmly. He was serious. Key, you're my You're my true ally in this world. Look at a fair amount of chuckles from you. He grinned, then the stoicism fading into amusement. I knew you'd stay for me. You're lucky to have me. Teasingly, Cove raised an eyebrow. You're the most lucky guy in all of Sunset Bird. Luckiest. For the moment, you weren't sure if Cove was laughing at your declaration or that you momentarily forgot the word luckiest. Either way, you didn't mind. And then he had let go of you. Cove stepped over his front porch steps, lazily taking a seat and leaning back on his arms. Our watch begins. Eventually, you both perked up at the sound of a car. A taxi followed the noise, turning onto your street. Cove's eyebrows raised at the sight as he sat up straight on the suit. That has to be them, right? Yeah, it's gotta be. Now that they were here, you couldn't help but feel just a bit curious. You wondered what kind of person would be living in the neighborhood for the summer. The taxi pulled up to a stop as you expected in front of the new empty condo. It was on the same side of the street as your house, a few buildings further up. Without getting to his feet, Cove tried leaning and tilting his head to get a view of the passenger door as it opened. The single occupant exited the cab. Huh? You could feel what Cove was in that moment. After the last renters, this new visitor was definitely not exactly what you expected. It was a young man. Had to be closer to your own age. He was dressed fully in electric black, white, and gray outfit. Even his side swooping hair matched the scheme. The only other pop of color was something that could easily be fashioned into submission. A pair of dark brown eyes, which you caught when he looked over at his audience. Hello, folks. Who might you be? We're the neighbors. The smile, already prominent on his face, curled further. It was cocky, but you didn't get the expression it meant something adverse. Hallelujah. The man who says hallelujah. That taxi pulled away, rolling carefully down the road and out of sight. Around the corner, the new renter had officially arrived. He left a suitcase on the ground, out of the way of the street, and sauntered over your way with the confidence of someone who had been invited to join. Cole finally stood up to greet the person. You followed suit. I'm Baxter Ward. It's excellent to meet you, neighbors. I'm sorry. Such a character. What do you read? You were standing on the side he was approaching from. When Baxter got close enough, he offered you his hand first. You shook it. You offered him a low five. You held your arms over. You shook it. I'm not Bax. I just met him. Me fanning over him. I just met him. Baxter gripped your hand firmly to give a satisfying shake. Hi, Baxter. Hi, Baxter. I'm Key. Hey, Key. I'm quite keen on getting to know you better this summer. We could be good friends. From your other side, Cove made a sarcastic and amusing scoff. And you are? He lifted his hand out to Cove next. Cove instead crossed his arms to express his rejection of the idea, still eyeing Baxter carefully. I'm Cove. The rivalry. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now wait, is that a nickname or your real name? It's just my name. Say my name, say my name. Cove spoke mildly, having given the explanation many times in the past, but it clearly charmed Baxter all the same. He tossed his head to one side with a laugh. Your parents knew exactly what they were doing. I can't imagine a more fitting name for the face I'm seeing. Cove. It's gorgeous. It's really not. I ship it. No, I agree. It suits you. Nice to see someone else knows. The impact might have faded for you, living with it for this long, but I promise, to the onlooker, it's a knockout. A knockout. Cove couldn't face either of you after that. His cheeks were quickly turning bright red with embarrassment. You noticed that Baxter looked apologetic over Cove's increased discomfort. I'm sorry. It wasn't intended to mean more than it did. I like your name, but you don't have to mind that. I'm patiently against stepping on anyone's toes. He chuckled to himself. It seemed like there was some extra meaning hidden there in his words, and you noticed that Cove raised an eyebrow, picking up on that too. I'm a ballroom dancer, hence the phrasing. Oh, I didn't know much about dancing, but that's pretty cool. It's not hard once you get the basics down. Cove didn't look convinced at all. Baxter looked Baxter took that as a cue to keep talking. Well, he grinned in a way that was rapidly becoming familiar to you. If either of you are ever looking for a partner, I'm available. Cove frowned at the overt forwardness. Thanks. I'll pass, I think. There's the answer I want to say, and then there's the answer that I should say, and then there's an answer to the question. I'll take you up on that offer sometime. I look forward to that then. His face! After that, there was a lull in the conversation, and Coves attempted to fill it in. What made you decide on Sunset Bird? Oh, yes, well, my parents rented a condo, so I had a place to stay while I was off for a semester from college and not living in the dorms. There was a playful glint in Baxter's eyes as he continued. Idly, they wanted to send me somewhere that wasn't too exciting, but lucky for me, they picked the wrong street, considering the two of you live here. Cove was practically reeling over how Baxter found a way to fit comments like that into every single topic thus far. Why do you keep doing that? You don't know us, but you talk like you already do. Cove spoke, firm yet genuinely confused, and Baxter smiled cautiously. I don't feel the need to keep words of praise to myself, and when I say something, I mean it. Plus, what's the point of spending my off semester alone? The best part of being somewhere new is getting to interact with new people. Am I honestly the first person who has acknowledged you're attractive and intriguing people? True, you're hidden away that tiny tourist trap, but still. Am I only trying to score a hookup or get a romantic fling started by saying those things? No, that isn't the point of speaking, well, of others. I was raised better than that. Though, would I be fussed if that's what my words led to? Alas, no. I'm flexible, not a surprise, I can back off with the lines if you don't like the attention, but I would like to be friends if we can. Cove wasn't sure how to respond. He glanced at you and then continued to look at your face when he spoke. Thanks for answering. I don't think I'm interested in that. Maybe not the friend thing, but the other part. I find it pretty entertaining. Baxter laughed at that. Glad we're working things out. I can't. I'm sorry. Shaking his way to his other foot, Baxter tried to move forward. So, since we're both already here, did my arrival interrupt anything? Definitely not. That condo hasn't had a new renter in my entire life. Hasn't had a new renter in my entire life. We had to see who was moving in. Baxter laughed at that, immensely pleased with your response. I'm getting a reputation in this town already. Not bad. Well, if either of you are free, I'd be thrilled to hang out this summer. But we can save this schedule talk for later. I should get my things inside. He gave a small nod of the head and flashed you both a dazzling smile. Goodbye for today. Cove simply waved goodbye. Bye, Baxter. See ya. Cove's face. He is not amused. Baxter then turned his head on his heels and strode back to his suitcase, picking it up and bringing it into his condo. You and Cove were silent as Baxter unlocked the door and disappeared inside the house. With him completely out of scene, Cove let out a long breath. I don't know how I'm going to explain that guy to my dad. He burst out in a fit of laughter trying to imagine the conversation. At least the job is done. We saw the new neighbor and now we can go meet up with Terry and Miranda. Yeah, we should get going. You gave Baxter's combo one last glance over your shoulder. Okay, if you do not know what the screen means, which is why I'm about to tell it for you. Obviously at the top you can see that it's my feelings for Baxter. We have this scene where if you see, I think it's right here, you can see my feelings for Cove. So again, like all of these things like determine like your interactions with him, his interactions with you, everything like that. I think I want to be a nervous fond because again, I don't know him. I really don't. I kind of gotten to know him. Like I know of him. I know some of his interactions. I know kind of his personality, but I don't know him like all that well. So I kind of want to be a nervous fond because I really want to be interested in him, but I Do not know this man. He's completely out of my, I would say out of my league. He's completely not the person I would talk to every day. I don't think I know anyone. If you know someone like Baxter, holler at me. You know, show me a picture. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So I'm gonna be a nervous fond because I don't want to have a crush on him yet. I don't know him, so we'll maybe get there. You know, maybe we'll get there in the next stage. You were looking forward to seeing more of him. You thought he was charming. You didn't think much about it. You weren't sure how to feel. He's pretty charming. I'll be honest. He's the way I interact with my friends. I'll be honest. I give my friends, or I try to give my friends a lot of compliments like every day. Seriously. Yeah, he's pretty charming. You really weren't sure when, but at some point, Baxter won you over. You were curious to get to know him better. Laughing quietly, you wondered how Baxter would fit in with the rest of the neighborhood. Turning your attention back to Cove, you pushed all the thoughts of Baxter aside. You both started making your way towards town. Cove asked, "What's wrong?" "I think I heard my phone." You dug your cell phone out and looked at it with a satisfied grin. There was a new message. It's Mirandy. It's Miranda and Tara. Mirandy? Ship name. It's Mirandy. Before you could read it, distracted by a small, amusing noise from Cove. His head was slightly tilted to the side as he carefully looked at your old keychain. I can't believe you still have that. He bought me a keychain when we were 8. It is so cute. It's a little shark keychain. Of course I do. I love it. You meant it. The intensity of your words had Cove blushing and looking away from you. I actually glad you like it. Smiling, you were focused on the task at hand. You opened a new text from Miranda, and all you saw was, "I can see you." Immediately from where you stood, you started swiveling your head around. You couldn't spot Miranda anywhere, but she did send you more messages. "Haha, I see you looking." "Where are you?" The message was sent. You were back to looking around, scanning for any sign of movement and familiar faces, but they were still invisible. Cove looked at you carefully, raising an eyebrow. You sighed ridiculously. You bursted into laughter and, "Miranda, come on out!" Cove jumped with your sudden outburst. He raised an eyebrow and looked at you carefully. What's happening?" Before you can even begin explaining to Cove, you both snapped your attention to yelling from across the street. And there you saw was Mirandy coming out. That's their name now. And there you saw was Mirandy coming out from behind the backside wall of the grocery store. They both started waving wildly to draw even more attention to themselves. Cove took a step in their direction and grinned and waited for them to get closer. "Hi, I hope you weren't waiting too long." "Hey, buddies." "Hi." I'm amazed. How did you appear out of nowhere like that?" They started giggling again. Terry glanced at Miranda, wondering what their story should be. "It was magic. And magicians never reveal their secrets." "Ooh, that's fair." Terry then closed the distance between her and Cove and crushed him in a painfully tight hug. "You're finally here. It's been so long. What took you?" He did his best to eke out a reply with his chest being compressed. "Sorry." Eventually, she let go. Terry looked at him with a beaming smile, but Cove was distracted, rubbing his arms. Standing there, Miranda shifted her weight to her other head. She watched Cove patiently with a passionate smile. "Welcome back." "Thanks. Hey, guess what else? We don't have to stand here and say stuff. Let's go. I would like a meal now." Pricking up, Cove nodded in agreement. "Yeah, for sure." Miranda was the first to offer a suggestion. "I don't know about anyone else, but I'd like some chow mein." Chinese is fine with me." Entirely serious, Terry nodded. "That'd be amazing right now." Agreed. Conversation was well and truly over, so Cove could get a chance to speak. "This has been on my mind the whole time, but there was never really a good chance to mention it before." "What is it?" "There's a new person renting a condo in our neighborhood." "Really?" "His name is Baxter. He's in college, though doesn't look like he's much older than us. Maybe Miranda's age? He's not going to be what you expect, no matter how much you try to guess." "A new man in town? Who's our age?" "Cove Holden has been holding out on us, as usual." "I won't guess. You tell me what he's like." "Monochrome. He's eccentric. You know, the weird guy who's probably rich, way too forward. He's nice, at least. He tries to be. It's hard to explain. It is hard to explain. Intriguing. Baxter is a bold. He says whatever he wants, and he dresses dramatically. Everything on him is black and white, even his hair. Huh? Cove had been correct. The man, the kind of man had not been considered in the realm of possibilities for Terry or Miranda. But I don't care that he has a style or that he's not shy. What I don't get is the way he acts so impressed by strangers who have done nothing. He said he wanted to hang out with us, me and Key, this summer and all this other stuff. And that was the very first time we'd met. I have no idea why he cares, or why is it so easy for him to say that to people he knows nothing about. So you got his number? No. The way he said it, he's so angry. It's so cute. I kind of wish Cove was just a bit more jealous. It seems like he is, though. It seems like I'm living for the drama. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll ask later. Then do it. And you should too, Cove. You don't mean to be a social butterfly like that every day. The black and white color scheme proves he's a rare specimen. This Baxter is flapping around the town, coming to appreciate our two good buds, Cove and Key, right? Like flower buds, and he's a butterfly? Terry, that pun is such a stretch. Well, he sounds like my kind of guy, and we could always use more friends. No, it's very possible to have as many friends as you need. I think it'd be nice if we could get along. No longer moving forward, Terry stood there with her hands on her hips as the single true extrovert of the group. I'm gonna meet Baxter, right now. What about getting food? I know the way. Y'all can go ahead. I'll be back before the food hits the table. You'll see it. Terry light chuckled, contrast matchlessly with the high sigh from Cove. You're actually going to go to a stranger's house and ask for his number? That's the plan? Yeah. Why do you gotta be like this? If it wasn't like this, me and you would have never been friends ourselves, and I probably wouldn't have been friends with Randy either. They end up dating in the future. It is so cute. I don't live in this town. I can't miss an opportunity to connect. Otherwise, that'd mean leaving it up to chance or fate or Cove's ability to have a relationship progress on his own. I don't have all year for that. He's gonna be gone before then. Not to insult you for going slow, Cove. You're good the way you are. Baxter can be a butterfly, and you can be a snail. I don't like snails. What? How does he, of all things, Cove doesn't like snails? How about you being a sea turtle then? Okay, I'm a turtle. Aw, good, you can accept that. Order me the dinner. I'll get his number. Can I come with you? No! I wanted to go with her. Inspired by her meal, or perhaps her meal was inspired by the sudden, didn't mean to do that, but the sudden mission. Terry gave a military salute before flipping around. Miranda and Cove watched in disbelief. Hold on, I'll go with you. I want to go with you. Key? Cove gave a halting yell, but he had no intention of stopping you. He just had more foresight than you in that instance. What are we supposed to order for you then? Oh. You slowed your pace down and glanced over your shoulder. You called out. Beef and broccoli, please. Okay. He let you go, and you found when you looked ahead that Terry had stopped in her tracks. To be honest, I can't let her just go on her own. Scary, right? It is a small town. To be honest, we could probably go alone. But, like, still, scary. I can't just let her go on her own. She waited for you and announced your intention of joining. I knew you were a bud. The trip back wasn't long. You barely left your neighborhood before the announcement of this change of plans, but there was no time to lose. Together, you sped down the sidewalk, around the bend, and only in a few minutes you returned to the even further sloped street. I'm pretty sure that's what that said. Sloped street, yeah. Terry's feet took her halfway down the road, smack dab between your house and Cove's. It was a force of habit. Which is his? She asked the question so naturally. You almost missed realizing that she wouldn't have known where to go if you had decided to come after her almost. But you had to come because you didn't want her to go alone. You want to see Baxter. It worked out for both of you. This is more fun than waiting around. You let it slide. You didn't know why you'd done that. Terry got lucky. But you wanted to see Baxter. It worked out for both of you. You pointed your fingers toward the rectangular house back on the hill that she passed right by. That's it. Ooh, glad you're here. Let's go. The door opened and there was the man you met 30 minutes ago. Baxter said goodbye for today when he'd left then. What an overestimate of how long it'd be before you'd once see him again, before you'd once again show him your face. Oh, Key, it's a pleasure to see you. And you. Baxter's head angled squarely at Terry. It was a playful tilt. You weren't there before. Still keeping his face turned to Terry, his deep brown eyes shifted towards you. Key must be popular to have such a rotating collection of company. I expected as much. I'm Baxter Ward. How nice to meet you. The offerer's hand received a sprightly slap, a slide 5 in place of a shake. I'm Terry, a friend of your neighbor's. His interest was piqued. Baxter far less subtly looked between the individuals, making a house call, trying to gauge the information from him. With no hint to go off of, he settled for asking directly. I see. And what can I do for you, my neighbor? My neighbor. Won't you be my neighbor? What can I do for you, my neighbor and friend of my neighbor's? Terry was going to come either way, but I thought I'd checked in. Is the condo nice? It's lovely. His voice was directly sweet and soft. The tone might have been born from a simple appreciation of the condo. Or it might have been because you cared to ask, and the quality of logging was irrelevant to how happy he was to answer. Key here and Cove not here talked about you moving in for the summer. It sounded cool to me. I decided to see you and your black and white hair myself. The reason people were unexpectedly at his doorstep had been revealed. Baxter's response to such an intrusion was pleased. He instinctively brushed a few strands of his dyed hair, smiling all the while. Well, thank you. Uh-huh. You sounded cool, and you are. Let's swap numbers. Really, this town is truly neighborly. I'm not from this place. Then it's a social circle from wherever they come from that's so friendly. Even better. Does that mean I can have your number? That would be excellent. Good, good. Terry pulled and cracked her cracked cell. Baxter did the same thing at the same time. His phone case was black and white. No surprise there. They hovered close to each other, bent over the screens, and tapping away. After a mistype or two, numbers were exchanged. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah. Would it be alright if I have your number too? And I'll give you mine. His head remained bowed. Bowed? Really? And his gaze lifted towards you. His cheeks went up, as well as in a sparkling smile. Of course, I'd love that. Baxter waited for you to get your own fat as he repeated the number. You got it down. You gave him yours in return. The contact name on his list was Key across the street, with an exclamation point. Perfect. He set his phone in his back pocket. And I admit, I was not expecting the vacation to go as well as it has. Even with a generous estimation of my sociability, I'd imagine I'd need a week or more to find someone to exchange numbers with. Instead, I have 2 new friends, the very instant I arrived. Oh, Baxter, this isn't even all. Since you've met Key and Cove, it's only a matter of time before you meet Miranda too. And there's still Liz, obviously. Maybe even Lee will make an appearance. The news of yet more strangers being invited to Baxter's vacation had no visible impact on him. He replied content and calm. I look forward to it all of that. As you should. Now, we need to make haste. There are still matters we must attend to. Lunch awaits. There was one way to put it. Baxter's formal tone seemed to be rubbing off on Terry. Then I won't keep you. I hope to see you soon, though. Please feel free to text or call at any time. Have a good day. Like 2 shots, you went off up the road. Baxter didn't move an inch from the entryway as you left. Neither you nor Terry spoke of the race to the restaurant. The clock still ticking, every second longer you took could be another drop in degrees of the warmth of your meal. But yeah, anyway. Miranda and Cove were there, speaking quietly. In front of them was nothing more than 4 cups of water and a plate of 3 spring rolls. Ooh. I'm sorry, that sounds so good. The dish was supposed to have 4. As sure as Baxter loved black and white, you knew it was Cove who ate the ones that was missing. Even if food technically ended up in Cove's stomach before the 2 of you returned, the appetizer had to be cheating. You barely made it, you know. We ordered a while ago, and this appetizer is already here. Close, but it's still making it. Did my good friends get what I requested? Yeah, I got it. General So chicken for you and beef and broccoli for Key. Yeah. Yes, thank you. One of the empty seats was finally filled as Terry plopped down, satisfied after a job well done. You took the last remaining chair. So, did you actually see him and get his number? We did. Cove glanced your way, his wavy eyebrows raised in surprise. "We" was clearly the word that was on his mind. "I got his number too." Wow. I'm usually an introvert, but I mean, if she was there, I might as well. I probably would do the same. Anyway, the group have settled into its unusual rhythm with your proper meals arrived a few minutes later. You ate and talked, and not once did the topic return to the element of the unknown, Baxter Ward. But he remained stuck in the corner of your mind. The rest of the afternoon was evening passed in the blink of an eye. When night fell, it was time to head home. You already parted ways with Miranda and Terry. You and Cole reached out into your neighborhood without event. It was late enough that your out-of-the-way street was dark and silent. Yeah, I rolled along. I was like... With every step, you knew that your fate was being sealed. Your feet were going to be sore well into tomorrow. It was taking a lot of mental focus to keep up and walk alongside Cove. As you peered at his feet out of the corner of your eye, you wondered why he felt so distant to you. It was out of character. Cove? For a while, Cove silently stared ahead, and you left alone in your own thoughts. It surprised you when you did hear his voice all of a sudden. He still wouldn't look at you. It feels weird coming back to the neighborhood and trying to get into things like they're the same. And they're not. They've changed. They're still changing. Your mouth felt uncomfortably dry all of a sudden. So, are you still thinking about working and stuff in Sunset Bird? Yeah. Cove closed his eyes and nodded while he composed his thoughts. He looked at you when he lifted his head. I've just done something. Well, kind of. He smiled slightly and rubbed his arm, and then his expression grew more serious. I'm not going to decide on school or career. Not this summer. I'm going to stay here. At least in Sunset Bird. I'll probably move out of my dad's place. I'll keep working my job, keep doing my volunteer stuff, and everything else. Maybe I'll know what I want for my life by next fall or next year. Maybe I'll never have a plan. Life will continue on with whatever's happening. I'm not going to crush myself trying to have everything figured out by a timeline that someone else has set. I just can't do it. I guess it'll be me and you for right here for a while longer. His eyes were glossy. You weren't going to be separated, and that meant a very great deal to him. Your plan sounds very you. Cove grinned, and he looked relieved that you understood. I think so too. I'll see you tomorrow, Key. I'll see you. Night. He pulled you an unexpected hug and knocked the breath out of you, yet couldn't have been more reassuring feeling. You returned to his embrace and stayed in that way for as long as you could. Night. He finally let go, giving you another smile. Then Cove started walking away, but you remained there, frozen in the middle of the street. You watched him until you wondered how many times will he be able to say that he'll see you tomorrow. You hoped for countless more times. Finally, you turned towards your own house. You vowed to yourself that you would make the most of it, out of every moment you had this summer. That's something. Oh, there's the hang. Okay. I know Baxter also comes up in the boating, but I think I might do that one last since I've already seen it. So here we are. We're going to end the episode here. I really hope you enjoyed this playthrough of the Baxter DLC. Of course, it is just like the first thing. We're just the first moments. We're just going in. But already seeing this, 100% worth the money. If you actually really enjoy this game and actually want to go play it for yourself, please, I really encourage you to do so. Whether you play with Baxter, whether you play with Cove, whether you play with Derek, I don't care. Whether you're just friends with all of them, I don't care. All of them are super amazing, and everything that this game company has done and everything in this game is just so amazing. You really connect with the people. You can really see so much heart was put into this game, and I cannot give it enough praise. It is so amazing. So yeah, in the next episode, we're probably going to go through these in order. So probably sightseeing, hang, drinks, mountain, and then planning. So, just going through. And then, of course, there's still everything in step 4, which I think is another 4 or 5 moments. So, yeah. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of our life. Or make sure you tackle the like button, tackle that subscribe button. Make sure you also tackle that notification button so you can be notified for future uploads. Please go get the game. Go get the game right now. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.